Hey everybody, David from PowerProbe. We're here today to introduce the newest addition to the PowerProbe circuit testers. This is one I'm really excited about. This is our latest PowerProbe. It's called the PP3 with PowerFlow, or PP3 PF. The PP3 has always been our #1 seller, and this might look familiar, but this is not your standard PowerProbe 3. It closely resembles it, but it's got a lot of new test functions that's really going to make your electrical testing much more quick and efficient. If you see the display, it may look similar, but you're going to see some different icons that weren't on the old version. Moving down, this is where normally was our mechanical rocker switch. Now we've got a 4-way switch pad. Pressing up positive applies power. Pressing down negative applies ground. That's similar, but there's 2 extra side buttons. On the right is P+, on the left is P-. That's a surprise I'm going to save for the end. Hang in there. Down here we have what's called our speaker or mode button. It has a couple of functions. If you just do a short tap, it turns the speaker off and on. So now it's off or on, so whether you want those tones or not. If you give it a long press, it starts cycling through the different test modes the tool has. And that's probably a good place to start. Let's talk about the different test modes. Now, when you first connect, it's going to be in what we call standard mode or PowerProbe mode. This will be your DC voltmeter for measuring voltages, for checking powers, for checking grounds. You will be able to apply power and ground in this mode. You will be able to apply PowerFlow positive and negative in this mode. Now I'm going to hold down the speaker button again, go to the next mode. This is your resistance mode. So now you have a true ohm meter in your PowerProbe. So a truly accurate ohm meter from 0.1 ohm to 25 kilo ohms, and a lower value continuity test at 10 ohms to make sure you have really good circuit connections. You cannot apply power or ground in this mode or use the PowerFlow buttons. Let's press this speaker button a long press one more time. We'll go to the next mode. In this mode, you'll see a negative sign in the corner. This is what's called your min peak mode or min capture mode. In this mode, you can connect to the circuit you're testing. You tap the speaker button, it'll reset. So now I'm showing the battery voltage. But if anything were to happen where there was a voltage drop, it will store that, even if the voltage came back up again. So it dropped to 0.1 volts there, came back up to 12, but it stored that 0.1. So if you're looking for any kind of dropout glitches, the min capture mode will capture that. We'll hold the button down again. Now you'll see a positive sign in the corner. This is going to be the exact opposite. Again, connect to the circuit, tap your button. Right now I have almost no voltage, but if the voltage comes up, even if the voltage goes down again, it'll store that highest reading. I've actually used that mode a few times where I've been probing in areas where I can't see the display because it'll kind of store the reading. I can pull it back down and read the reading on the display. All right, one more long press on here. Now you're going to see a P in the corner. This is your peak-to-peak mode. Now it's not a true AC meter because it never measures anything negative. But most of the stuff we deal with in the automotive world are just DC pulses, 5-volt pulses, 12-volt pulses, out of your crank sensors, wheel sensors, that kind of thing. So in P mode, I can measure that peak-to-peak voltage. This here is measuring 5 volts, where your typical meter would average that. Since it spins half the time at 5, half the time at 0, it would average it down to 2.5 volts typically. But this reads a true 5 volts peak-to-peak. And one more long press, and this time you're going to see a plus-minus sign flashing in the corner and a number on the display. Right now it says 50.0. That's a voltage setting. If I tap this speaker button, it'll change that number: 0.2 volts, 0.5 volts, 1.0, 2.0, 5 volts, 10 volts, or 50 volts where we started. That number is a threshold setting, but if I know I'm looking for an AC voltage, I can set it to a lower setting, like I'm going to set it at 0.2 right now, and then hold my button down. It'll go back to my main mode. But now it works in conjunction with that previous peak-to-peak mode. So now anytime I probe a circuit where the signal varies more than that 0.2 voltage setting I put in or whatever I selected, it's going to do two things. It automatically kicked the tool over to peak-to-peak mode and enabled the speaker function so you can actually hear the signal audibly. This is a fantastic quick test for things like wheel speed sensors, crank sensors, and that kind of stuff. As long as I hear a noise when I probe into that circuit, I know that sensor's putting out at least some sort of signal. We're back in our main mode, and I saved the best for last. These two right and left buttons labeled P plus and P minus. These are your PowerFlow plus and PowerFlow minus buttons. You now have the ability to load test power or ground circuits right from your same circuit tester. The missing piece is finally here. So now when you're checking circuits, normally a circuit has to have current flowing through it to create a voltage drop, like this instance here. I'm down to 9.2 volts. But a lot of times you don't have the component operating. We'll cut this one off. So in your typical testing, it looks like I have full voltage here without that load created by this lamp. But now you can create the load yourself in the tool. I'll hit P positive. And look, we dropped down to 7.8 volts. You don't want more than about a half a volt of variance. So let me test this point here. I'll hit it with the load, the PowerFlow load test. No voltage drop. We'll go back here, check, double verify. Yep, that one had a big voltage drop. So we've got an issue between here and here, a corroded wire, a bad connector, something going on that's creating that voltage drop. Works exactly the same on the ground side. Good ground, 0 volts. Let's see. We'll hit the P negative for loading the ground, the PowerFlow negative. Oh, and I'm showing 4 volts when that happens. It shouldn't, like I said, you shouldn't see more than half a volt on the ground side. Let's go to this point here. We'll load it again with PowerFlow, P negative. No variation, we're still at 0 volts, so that's a good ground here. Here we've got some voltage drop. So again, on this side, we've got an issue between here and here, a corroded wire, a bad connector or something like that. But now you've quickly identified it with the PowerFlow load test function. So these are some of the great new features in the new PowerProbe 3 with PowerFlow. Check it out at powerprobe.com.